This is the Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Future of Automotive on CBT News, where we put recent automotive and mobility news into the context of the broader themes impacting the industry. I'm Steve Greenfield from Automotive Ventures, and I'm glad that you could join us. I've often wondered why consumers fall for the low-price loss leader deal in automotive. A recent article in the Wall Street Journal shines a light on the psychology behind this consumer behavior. The article's conclusion? Consumers themselves are to blame. Even when we know the fees are coming, we underestimate their magnitude and have a hard time doing the mental math. A few research experiments illustrate why drip pricing, as it's called by researchers and regulators, is so effective at getting us to pay more. The experiments explain why these fees proliferate across automotive shopping. Why don't retailers include all of the associated fees with the sticker price? A 2009 paper out of the University of California, Berkeley, showed consumers punish that sort of transparency and actually prefer cost complexity. The University of Chicago has run a series of experiments asking participants to find the best deal for a range of purchases across categories outside of automotive. They can then choose between complex or simplified disclosures. For example, the complex disclosure for prepaid cards breaks down the final price into such things as initial fees, card acquisition fees, card activation fees, service fees, and administration fees. The simplified disclosure combines all of these fees as a single initial fee. Surprisingly, 70% of people preferred the complex disclosure. They believe that it's more transparent and that they can calculate the total cost by themselves. But the study showed that they're wrong. Even when participants are offered cash to identify the cheaper option, people botch the math and pick the more expensive option. StubHub did an experiment that showed that lower prices prompted shoppers to upgrade and pay more. In this StubHub experiment, half of shoppers saw an all-in price, and half saw the lower base price with taxes and fees only added in at the end. The latter strategy boosted revenue to StubHub by 20%. And shoppers didn't just buy more tickets. When they saw lower prices initially, they opted for better seats. By the end of the checkout process, they were committed. When people get to the end of the process, there's a variety of psychological reasons they get locked in. They overestimate the cost of starting over, or they underestimate the benefits. Maybe they're just excited about the purchase or reluctant to admit that they could have made a mistake. Our instincts as consumers are counterintuitive. We punish transparency, think we're clever enough to figure out any complexity, get sucked in by low offers and then upgrade our ambitions, and conclude it's too much hassle to start over. I've always wondered why consumers don't demand all-in or out-the-door pricing, and why that screaming low lease deal drives in customers who only then realize later that the actual monthly payment is going to be a lot higher. It turns out that shoppers can't help themselves and mostly have themselves to blame. The second article that caught my attention this past week was in the Boston Globe about right-to-repair legislation. Since the summer of 2021, Subaru has refused to activate Starlink on new cars sold in Massachusetts. Since January 2022, Kia has stopped offering a similar service called Kia Connect. Both companies say it's the best way to avoid violating the state's right-to-repair law. Switching off Starlink and Kia Connect deprives consumers of many popular features, such as the ability to remotely start the car, shut it down if it's stolen, and track teenagers when they go for a drive. And since consumers typically pay around $100 to $150 a year for these services, switching them off eats into the car maker's profits. This is yet another skirmish in the raging fight against the Massachusetts automotive right-to-repair law that was enacted by public referendum in 2020 and has been snarled in legal challenges ever since. The law requires car makers to let independent repair shops access digital data transmitted wirelessly by millions of late model cars. Subaru and Kia have been especially aggressive in resisting the law, while other automakers are counting on a long-running federal lawsuit to overturn the statute. Kia and Subaru opted to shut off the features in their vehicles that are covered by the law. Both companies say it's the best way to avoid violating the state's right to repair law. The Massachusetts law was merely supposed to ensure fair competition in the car repair business by sharing vehicle data with independent repair shops. Owners of independent auto repair shops want access to this real-time diagnostic data so they can compete with the car makers' franchise dealerships. For example, a car owner could subscribe to a service that would send the data to his or her local mechanic instead of the dealership. This is why the independent car repair industry fought so hard to get the Massachusetts data access law on the books. They hope it'll serve as a template for federal legislation. But car makers say that the Massachusetts law would make it far easier for hackers to steal digital information from cars and even to seize remote control of vehicles. A letter sent just last week to car makers by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said the threat is so severe that car makers must not comply with the Massachusetts law. One way to do that is simply deactivate the telematics features, as Kia and Subaru have done, but that option is leaving some consumers angry and frustrated. I expect right to repair acts will continue to gain momentum across the US to protect the aftermarket's access to vehicle data. But practically, it's going to be harder and harder to access the vehicle's data and employ independent technicians that have the skill set and tools required to work on the rapidly evolving technology within these vehicles. In any case, expect to see continued battles fought across many fronts that will impact the automakers, franchise and independent dealers, aftermarket accessory installers, and in many cases, the confused consumer who will be downstream from all of these decisions. So with that, let's transition to our companies to watch. Every week we highlight interesting companies in the automotive technology space to keep an eye on. If you read my industry intel report, I showcase a few companies each week, and we take the opportunity here on this segment to share those companies with you. Today we have two companies to watch, VOLTFANG and Decibel Energy. Our first company to watch this week is VOLTFANG. VOLTFANG is repurposing used EV batteries into a sustainable battery storage solution, often called a virtual power plant. A virtual power plant is a system that consists of a large number of decentralized power generators and is controlled via a common control system. By coordinating the individual units, the virtual power plant can act as a whole and react flexibly to fluctuations in the power grid. This enables efficient integration of renewable energies and stabilization of the power grid. These virtual power plants help businesses to optimize their energy balance and at the same time ensure the security of your energy supply by using their economical and sustainable battery storage from car batteries. VOLTFANG's energy management system enables all energy flows to be recorded, controlled, and monitored, so you can smooth out peak electrical demand, reducing your overall electrical bill. Businesses can also rest assured that they have access to an emergency power supply and know that power outages and other unforeseen events won't leave you in the dark. Business continuity is guaranteed. And with VOLTFANG's 10-year guarantee, they ensure that the storage capacity of your system is maintained and will, if necessary, replace individual battery modules. You can check out VOLTFANG at www.voltfang.de. Our second company to watch this week is Decibel Energy. Decibel's home energy station brings premium DC charging to residential customers. It delivers more energy, a faster full-range charge, and the ability to power your car with solar panels. Decibel's residential bidirectional DC charger is the first to achieve certification in the US. Imagine never having to worry about the power going out. Decibel can charge your electric vehicle with solar energy and transform its battery into a backup power source for your house. Decibel's home energy station can get you on the road in minutes instead of hours. Its ability to integrate solar energy into your vehicle charger, along with an off-board inverter, means you can charge your car with the power of the sun. It's the cleanest, fastest way to charge your electric vehicle. If you're building a new home or planning to adopt solar and storage, the Decibel system offers the first 4-in-1 home energy station, which includes bidirectional power flow, solar energy conversion and storage, DC charging, and smart home energy management. With Decibel, solar panels work during a blackout, a stationary battery reliably stores battery backup power, and your EV can power your home for 3 or more days at a time, depending on battery capacity. You can check out Decibel Energy at www.dcbel.energy. So that's it for this week's Future of Automotive segment. If you're an auto tech entrepreneur working on a solution that helps car dealerships, we want to hear from you. We are actively investing out of our new dealer fund. If you're interested in joining our investment club to make direct investments into auto tech and mobility startups, please join. There's no obligation to start seeing our deal flow, and we continue to have attractive investment deals available to our members. And don't forget to check out my book, The Future of Automotive Retail, which is available on Amazon.com. Thank you for tuning in to CBT News for this week's Future of Automotive segment, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.